Hey Said, how are you?
Hi, how you doing?
Doing great, thank you. Let
Are
me
we
see.
live or?
It looks like we are. I just wanted to
Hey,
confirm.
Said. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Evan, how you doing?
Fine, fine. How about you?
Very good, thanks.
Very good. So we have
Great.
we have Fuad.
Okay.
Amazing. Great to see you all.
Yeah,
Yeah, we are
Likewise.
absolutely.
live. So we are people see us. Yes, I see
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah. I just wanted to confirm that aspect. So let me
Hi, Jet. How are
see.
you?
Hello, everybody.
Okay, JT is
Hello.
here as well. Great.
Hi, Jed.
All right. I think we can start. Let me just get the final confirmation from our team. Okay, I think we're good to go.
Yeah,
Just wanted to, final confirmation. All right. Well, first of all, I would like to thank everyone who have joined our live event. We really appreciate you taking the time. And I wanted to make some intros before we start. My name is Elvin. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Metafluence. We have here Emin, who is our CMO and co-founder, and we have Fuad, our CFO, and we have JT from Master Ventures, who is our advisor, and we have Sayed from Shisha Finance, who is also our advisor. So just to kind of break down the agenda of the call, so we will talk a bit about Metafluence and Metaverse, and then we'll start answering the AMA question, the top 10 AMA questions. So I'd like to move forward and speak about, the story and the Metafluence first, how we started, and what is our basically the value proposition, because a lot of people are asking. So just to kind of dive into the story, so we started as KeepFace back in 2017 as an influencer marketing platform. It's a B2B SaaS platform, and we've been involved in the influencer marketing for years. And starting from Q1 this year, we thought that we can actually create a tokenized system for influencers in the metaverse and involve obviously a lot of concepts such as NFTs and metaverse concept and create basically an influencer centric environment in the metaverse. So that's where the idea of Metafluence came from. And just to give you kind of more, I would say, ideas about how we're going to do it. So our main mission is to convert the social media influencers into metaverse entrepreneurs, which we call metapreneurs, through our platform. And basically in the midst of everything is our MetaHuts, which are basically personalized spaces for influencers in the metaverse. So these MetaHuts basically allow better monetization options for influencers. For example, if you are an influencer having a MetaHut, each MetaHut will have different sort of rooms, such as NFT room, event room, shopping room. So these are basically different functionalities and different options for influencers to better monetize their audiences. For example, again, you're an influencer, you're trying to sell your NFTs or showcase them. You can use the NFT room for that. You want to have a private event with your fans and sell them tickets in form of NFTs. You can do it in the event room and so forth and so on and so forth. And also we do have obviously a lot of other functionalities such as brand solutions, influencer rating and outreach, which is something that we are already covering with KeepPace. And obviously the main idea is to make it more interactive for influencers, not just like on Web 2.0, but to make it again in the Web 3.0 and in the metaverse and allow better monetization options for these influencers. And that being said, I'd like to kind of pass the floor to Emin. Emin, if you'd like to kind of add some comments on that. would be
Yeah,
great.
sure, Edwin. Thank you very much for the introduction. When we say influencer, first things that comes to people's minds are the very popular Instagram travel bloggers who have millions of followers. Yes, this is also true, but when we say influencer-centric ecosystem, we mean we will bring in our ecosystem the talents who can create valuable content, who want to use the new opportunities that Metaverse is opening for them. So in our philosophy, each person is an influencer. If once the person realizes his potential in creativity and persuading the people. So we open wide opportunities for, we can say, everyone to jump a new trend of Metaverse Zero and build his personal brand in the new environment. And while building personal brand, create the monetization tools, create the revenue streams for himself, and cooperate with the brands. With what we offer to the content creators, the talents, or what I love to call the content creators uh, can trade their content in the form of the NFTs, can make private events and monetize on these private events, and collaborate with the brands, with the companies in the form of sponsorships or affiliate marketing. So we are actually we are actually removing the barriers between the brands, influencers, and audiences that is currently happening in the influencer marketing ecosystem. So in our new world, we want our new world to be driven by the creators, the influencers, QLs, industry experts, however you call them, but in general we call these talent, these people, influencers. So we bring that while we bring influencers in the ecosystem, they will bring their most loyal audiences, and the most loyal audiences will bring the brands into the ecosystem, and we will create the economy that we are dreaming of.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, man. Um, I would like to also give the floor to JT. JT would you like to add some comments, about, the whole concept of metaverse and everything?
Yeah, sure. Appreciate it, Alvin. So when we think about Web 3.0, we have to think about it like a completely decentralized world, where historically, like, major brands or major corporations have been kind of like the marketers of everything. As we've seen with like social media and Instagram and Twitter, these individuals start to have a power of influence where their word starts to be powerful and they start to have an audience that listens to what they say. This really represents a decentralized world where people start to go peer to peer. And that's the key to Web 3.0. So as you start to think about influencers and you start to think about the internet and you start to think about how the future evolves and really redefines itself, is in this peer-to-peer economy. So how does this peer-to-peer economy look? It looks exactly like what we're seeing now, but with an emphasized focus on maximizing the impact of these individual influencers. So what we see now is that these people with a following on Twitter or YouTube or whatever medium it may be start to have a real impact or influence around the people that are following them, the people that are following those channels. What Metafluence is designed to do is to connect more closely the consumer and the marketer, the influencers. So we're going to be creating tools within the metaverse, and within each of these assets of MetaHUTS or whatever it may be, each one is going to allow for specific capabilities and different ways to connect to an audience, which creates this peer-to-peer economy. I could kind of go down many rabbit holes to describe how this comes together. But I think from like a macro perspective, we need to think Web 3.0, influencers, peer-to-peer marketing, and really Metafluence as the glue that connects the consumers to the influencers in a true peer-to-peer marketing economy.
Great thoughts, JT. Thanks a lot for sharing them. Fuad, would you like to also add some comments, maybe?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for giving a word. Well, it's great to be here. The topic has been around just for recent several months, perhaps, but there is a great advancement that we can observe over the past 2021 and the great prospects of this year. Our objective is basically, as a famous saying says, to connect the dots, connect the influencers, connect the companies who want to promote, and provide these opportunities for the great influencers. And the great, I mean, everyone who loves his or her job. Like Emin mentioned, there is a micro influencers. There is influencers who just start up the new opportunities in the social media, and the large one who already accomplished a lot, and we can learn from their experience. But the thing is, this peer-to-peer transaction is expanding not just from crypto transactions, from the initial payments, but also for the transaction and relationship between people, between companies, and the way how the new Metafluence economy will operate. So I think it's a great opportunity for us, not just from financial perspective, in order to have necessary financial return. I have to say that as a finance professional, but also to build a new professions, new practices into not just marketing, but also raising awareness, social impacts, and so on. So I see a great way for us to start this year in order to leverage experience we have in social media over the past several years into the new metaverse. Thank you very much. I pass word back to you again.
Thanks a lot, Fuad. And last, I would like to also,
No, JT wants to add something.
okay. Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, sure. Just to give everyone like a real life example, because it's always like these big words flying around this Web 3.0 and it gets a little confusing at times. But to give everyone like a real life example of where this would be applicable in their lives is imagine like trying to start a home business and wanting to create a commercial. Historically, you'd have to like find a TV station and a production studio, and you'd have to go through all of these steps that are probably really centralized. There's probably only so many TV stations. There's probably only so many production studios that can help you bring your vision to reality. But imagine a world where you can go directly to somebody that had a massive audience. At the end of the day, you're publishing that commercial to reach people. So the question is, how many people do you reach? If you reach 1 million people through a traditional commercial with a traditional medium channel and a producer, blah, 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 all of this stuff, this is the old world. But imagine a new world where you can go directly to an influencer who has, say, 5 million followers, and they're getting a 20% conversion or interaction rate. So that means 1 million of the 5 million are actually engaging with the videos that they create. Then you're getting the same reach. So Web 3.0 is about being able to go directly to that influencer, having that influencer have the tools available to create and produce a commercial with you and publish it to their audience without any assistance from any major media corporation. Think of the opportunities that this creates, not just for the people that are at home starting their own business, but also for the influencers that have worked really hard to gain an audience. It gives everybody a medium for transaction to leverage their goals, right? Whatever they want to accomplish, whether it's reaching a lot of people or leveraging my effort in the past, leveraging my great idea that I want to share with the world, or leveraging the audience that I've created. This bridges the gap and allows people, again, that peer-to-peer relationship where anybody can create their own version of a commercial to reach masses to promote whatever they're interested in promoting. And this form of decentralization is key to Web 3.0.
Great inputs, JT. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can think of influencers as the pioneers of decentralized web, right? In that context. So, yeah. And I would like to also, get some comments from Saeed, our advisor, as well. Saeed, if you could please add your own comments, that would be great.
Yeah, thanks, Alvin. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited about what you guys are doing, and I think the support that you're getting from the likes of JT and all the kind of tier one VCs and Bluezilla and a lot of people that are involved in the background is very important to what you guys are doing. And I think ultimately what will determine your success is to get as many of these, even if they're micro influencers or the major influencers or from all different types of industries or sectors or verticals, to actually participate on your platform and get that engagement and get that participation. So I think, the idea is brilliant, but at the end of the day, you guys need to execute on that idea. And I'm going to do my utmost to try and help you guys to get to your targets and achieve all the milestones that you need to achieve on the roadmap. And I think, it's good to kind of put things into perspective and understand that the idea of the metaverse is still very, very nascent. It's very new, and there's still a lot of groundwork to be done in terms of the tech behind it and in terms of the infrastructure. And it's great to see that you guys are targeting the niche of influencers participating in a metaverse. And I'm excited to see how you evolve and how the journey happens along the way. But I think you guys have the experience and the skill set to make this a success. And you need all the help and support you can get. And both Master Ventures and Shisha Finance and all your backers will be there to support you and give you the helping hand that you need. And I'm still very much an old school person, so I haven't really been involved in the kind of gaming space or the metaverse space, but I do understand that it's a big market and there's a lot of excitement around it. And I'm willing to learn. And one of the reasons why I'm here in this AMA is to actually get some more insights and get some more knowledge on what you guys are doing. And JT raised a lot of very valid points, and try to tap into your imagination and get some ideas to execute on. But I believe this is the right time to actually venture into the metaverse and engage with influencers, because ultimately, especially in the crypto space, KOLs and influencers play a huge part in what projects are trying to do in the space. And I believe mixing the metaverse kind of concept and reaching out to influencers is something it's a good combination, and I feel that it has legs in it. And I hope you guys can execute for the future.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Sayed. Thank you for your support. It's been great, amazing, and we're just starting, and hopefully we can just do a lot more in the coming months and years. And absolutely loving the energy. Yeah.
I want to add
Yes.
a few words on top of what Said said. Thank you, Said, for inputs. You are completely right regarding our roadmap of onboarding the right influencers. So this is a very strategic part for us. We have been working with various types of influencers across the globe in different industries. So in FMCG, fashion industry, airlines, and many other industries. And we have practiced different types of campaigns. And while we were doing this last 5 years, we have very good base of influencer network, which we are planning to onboard step by step. So as you mentioned in our trailer video, we had a shopping room. We specially put it there because we have big experience of working with fashion influencers and lifestyle influencers and with the fashion brands. So we worked with the regional and global brands and local brands. And as you see, fashion industry is one of the pioneers of exploring the metaverse as a marketing tool, a marketing space like Nike, Adidas, and many others. So you are right. We have a strategy of onboarding the influencers step by step. We started with the influencers who are familiar with the space. These are the crypto influencers, NFT collectors, and gaming influencers. Also, we have in pipeline already onboarded the influencers who are in fashion, beauty industry. We have plans regarding the travel influencers, food influencers, and many other niche segments, which we believe a lot. We believe that content is most valuable, and niche content needs recognition need recognition of both audiences and the brands. Yeah, this is what I want to add on Said's comments.
Thanks a lot, Amin. Yeah, again, thanks again for everyone joining, taking the time. I'd like to also, for those who are maybe not aware, we are launching on January 24th. So it's going to be a Bluezilla exclusive launch. So we'll be launching on BSC Pad, MetaV Pad, and NFT launch. More information is available on our social media channels. And I'd like to also now actually move towards to the AMA questions. And before that, I would like to highlight that the top 10 questions will get actually some Meta as a reward. So I'll go ahead and basically read those questions. So these questions are, just to let you know, there's been a lot of kind of repetitive questions. So we actually excluded some of them because the questions were basically the same. But these are the most liked questions. So I will start with the first one. So the question is, I have here Twitter handle called Kulaklino. And the question is, what is the most important feature that distinguishes your project from other Metaverse projects? And what does the word Metaverse mean for your project? Actually, a great question. And this has been a really repetitive question, to be honest, by a lot of our community members. So to answer your question is that we are building basically an influencer-centric environment in the Metaverse. And as I highlighted before, our main value proposition is to empower the influencers with better monetization tools and options, so the brands and the audiences can follow these influencers. Let's say when there are a lot of different Metaverse projects, right? But they are aimed at the masses. But we aim at the influencers first because the audiences, they usually follow the influencers. And once you have the influencers, you get the audiences and brands by default. So that's been actually a great proven strategy by some of these platforms such as Patreon, for example, because they aimed specifically at the influencers. They made more tools for them. So they onboarded these influencers where eventually the brands and the audiences followed them. So in terms of our unique selling proposition, that's what we are basically aiming to achieve. We want to create better options for the influencers in the Metaverse so the brands and the audiences can follow. Because again, if you just directly aim at the masses, the chances of you acquiring more users is pretty low. Because the users, when they visit certain platforms, they need to have some incentives to visit these platforms. And by onboarding the influencers first, this is basically the incentive that we are giving to these audiences. And obviously there are a lot of other details, but kind of.
Yeah, and I can hop in here, Alvin. Yeah, if you'd like. Some of the things that gets us most excited is we see hundreds of projects a month, literally hundreds. I think a space that's being neglected is the influencer space within metaverses. So maybe there's some projects out there doing it. And I mean, there's nobody that's really dominated the space and said, we are the company that controls and will dictate how influencing in the metaverse will go. There's no company that stands out in my mind. So when Metafluence approached us as a investor advisor, the thing that excited me was the opportunity for exactly that. I felt that Metafluence, based on the product, the vision, and really most importantly, the experience that the team has, they've been doing this successfully for 4 years in the traditional world. They know how this works. They know how to do it. So transitioning that to blockchain is so much easier than somebody starting from scratch and saying, we're going to figure this all out. Not only are we going to figure out blockchain technology, but we're going to figure out the influencer marketplace and, you know, relationships that are associated with it. It's too much figuring out to do. Like, crypto is hard enough. We see so many projects, we invest in so many projects. The crypto part is hard enough. When you have a team that is experienced and knows what they're doing, and the only thing that they need to adjust to is the crypto aspect of it, that's what excites me about this project, is Elvin, Emin, Elshad, Fuad, the team behind Metafluence, because they know what they're doing. They've done it successfully, and they're going to do it again. It's just going to be on blockchain this time.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, JT. Yeah, and then there was a second part of this question: what does Metaverse mean to our project? So, just to kind of elaborate on the concept of Metaverse, is that the vision that we have in regards to the Metaverse is it's basically a connected network of decentralized virtual worlds, right? So, and that's why we have a lot of these projects are building their own metaverses, right? We are building our own metaverse. Decentralized has their own, Sandbox has their own, but the vision is to have this metaverse as the next internet. Where right now, let's say if you want to go to a certain website, you just basically type in the URL, you go to the website, and the vision is like years ahead from now is to have this, you know, the whole metaverse where you can actually, you want to go to the Metafluence world and you can go there, you want to go to the Sandbox world, you can go there. And also the concept of interoperability is very important. So we're talking about the, you know, decentralization and then interoperability between these worlds to have this entirely connected, entirely connected network of the decentralized virtual worlds, which are smaller metaverses within the whole metaverse. So that's how we envision it.
Yeah, maybe I'll also add to that. I don't know if the Metafluence team has thought about this or not, but I think I would like to think that Metafluence is kind of a plug-in to the metaverse. And, you know, if you think where the word metaverse has come from, I like to think of the universe, and the universe is anybody and everybody that's in the universe. And with the metaverse, you'll have a lot of different players that are interacting with the virtual world. Metafluence being one of them. But I don't know if the team has thought about, you know, partnering with other kind of projects that are interacting with the metaverse. You named Sandbox and Decentraland, but it'd be great if you guys can plug into their metaverse or their kind of universe and platform online. So that's something to think about.
I think it's a great point, Saeed. And as we like, when I've been in this space and we start to even talk about like competition, I'm like, forget the inter-crypto competition. The real competition is old world versus new world in my mind. This is how it works. It's old world versus new world. And everybody in the new world needs to come together in order to support each other, in order to create a new system so that everybody can then benefit from this new world. And I think collaboration is key. And through our network and our relationships, and I know Ashisha Finance, which has incredible relationships, an incredible organization, we can connect the dots to a lot of entities and partnership opportunities out there to unify this mission to create essentially what we're talking about is interoperability of influence, right? So how does this influence surpass the Metafluence metaverse? It should be for all metaverses, in my opinion. And I think that we all agree on this point. And Saeed, you bringing it up, is the key driver in that agreement. Is this is absolutely the way that it needs to go, and from an advisory perspective, and I think from even an operational perspective, that's the direction we're headed, based on my vision, Saeed's vision, and I'm sure the team at Metafluence, Elvin, Emin, Fuad, etc. I think this is key for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, collaboration is the key, and as a lot of people highlight now, no one can build the metaverse alone, right? So the collaboration is the key in that perspective, and we actually have already partnered with metaverse-related projects such as SoulChecks, Digicorp Labs, Arise. So all these projects are also doing their work towards better future in regards to decentralization and metaverse. So yeah, definitely. I mean, we do have a lot of partnerships coming as well. So we can't disclose any, and we are currently focused on the IDO. And after the IDO, we'll actually put a lot of work towards integration with the other projects and the collaborations. Okay, so I would like to go to the second question by Hersan Kraus. Okay, so the question is, almost every investor holds the token for the short term without understanding the long-term value. So how can you ensure for us that holding this token is more beneficial for long-term, and what is your plan to increase the demand and scarcity of the token? So this is actually a great question, because obviously once we have the release of the tokens, you have to provide more development towards the project, more utility to the token. So this is something that is directly tied to the utility of the token. And when it comes to the utility of the token, we have various options that we will be utilizing. So obviously the first thing that comes to mind is staking benefits, which we will be introducing really soon. We already have a model in the works, but we have to kind of work out some tiny details and get it running. And we will also tie it to the MetaHuts and land. So if you hold or stake the tokens, you may get a chance to win a MetaHut. So this is only for the staking, and obviously there is going to be a different sort of APYs as well. But aside from that, in the long run, the utility of the Meta token is going to be embedded into the transactions. Obviously, we would like our ecosystem users to transact with Meta, and we will give more discounts for the people who will be transacting with Meta, and certain assets will be available in Meta only. And then obviously there are other sort of benefits that we have in mind, such as different sort of holder benefits or affiliates. If you are kind of interacting with third parties and bringing the users to our ecosystem, you can get different sort of rewards. And then there is the governance option, which is more applicable to our Meta clans. So Meta clans, just to give you more information, are basically groups of influencers within our ecosystem, up to 100 people. So these different groups of influencers, they will have their own clan, which is basically a group. And the more Meta you hold or stake, the more voting power you will have within the clan. Obviously, when it comes to the governance model, this is something that we can expand and have more kind of functionality attached to it. But to kind of to answer it shortly, yeah, we definitely have a lot of utility that will be involved with the token. And again, a lot of development, partnership, the execution, influencers. This is everything that will bring more value to the utility of the token.
If I may also give a few comments. Thank you very much. You basically touch upon on key aspects, and perhaps the staking one of them. But I think whether the hold and for how long, it's all matter of belief. If you believe that there will be a capital appreciation to the token, but that's not just a token. It's about the Metafluence that we're trying to build. I think the best answer would be, if you look at our roadmap, if you look at our vision, and our team, you will understand what we're trying to accomplish. Because the token price is impacted by many factors, which are sometimes, or in most cases, are outside of the immediate control of the team. But what is in our control is to stick to our roadmap, stick to our white paper, stick to the commitments we have, commitments to our team, to commitment to ourselves. Because always remember, if someone invests into tokens, we invested our basically life and careers into that, and we have strong beliefs that as we follow to this path through the roadmap, it should bring much more. Like take a look at the initial drawings of the MetaHUTS, of the how we will soon you will see about the overall the lands and the other elements. But it's just initial drawings. Just imagine how much more it could be materialized in a quarter or two, which is also explained and outlined in our roadmaps for the entire year and behind. So this is all about your confidence and your belief into the project, and the progress that we have been showing historically over the past several months, not just at the initial building over the Metafluence engagement. So I think that would be the best answers to see what we are trying to accomplish in the next several months.
Yeah, if I could make a little bit of a comment, if you like, so much of the community and everybody is going to be focused on short-term price action, it's irrelevant. Unless you're a day trader capitalizing on short-term movements, it's all irrelevant. Forget about it. Stop torturing yourself by looking at price. The only thing that matters related to price is when you're going to sell. And so if we want to talk about confidence and holding, the question is, do you believe Web 3.0 will exist? Do you? That's question number one. Do you think Web 3.0 will exist? Yes or no? If you don't, this project isn't for you. If you do, let's continue. I think all of us, everybody on the call, agrees Web 3.0 will exist. Now, then the second question is, how will marketing be done for companies and entrepreneurs in Web 3.0? If you think it'll be done through influencers, which is already being shown today, look at how many influencers promote how many projects and how impactful that marketing is, what the conversion ratios are. Of course, that's going to be a part of this may or may not existing Web 3.0. I'm a believer, so I'm going to always assume as if. So I believe Web 3.0 will exist. I believe influence matters. I believe today people are marketing, leveraging their communities, leveraging their influence. This stuff is already happening. The only difference is the tooling around it that makes it more efficient for people to connect, for people to engage, for products to be created, and how many fulfillment of obligations can happen based on the infrastructure created that's based on the technology. So Metafluence builds the technology that allows this to be scalable. If Web 3.0 will exist, if influencers will have an impact on marketing efforts, how scalable, how engageable, how is this all going to happen? That's the problem that Metafluence solves. So if you believe that Web 3.0 will exist, influencers matter, people follow their communities, blah, 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 then the question is how cheap can you buy the token? That's really what we're talking about if we're going to talk about price. So you can roll the dice and pretend you're a professional day trader. Whether you are or you aren't is up to you. If you're not, it's what cripples everybody. The reason people lose money in financial markets is because they think they can trade when they shouldn't be trading, and they make mistakes. What ensures success is long-term value that's being created. So the people that succeed at investing identify projects and opportunities that create long-term value, and they invest in those projects, and they're not worried about the differences of pennies in price. They're not watching price day to day. They're watching price year to year, month over month, long term, creating value, future in mind. So where Metafluence, why I won't sell my Metafluence tokens is because I think 3.0 does exist. I think influencers are critical to the marketing environment of Web 3.0. And I think Metafluence is the team that's going to execute, delivering the tools that bridges the gap to make this all happen. That's the infrastructural play that I look at this that excites me so much, and why I've spent a lot of time with Emin, Elvin, Fuad, the entire team at Metafluence, building something that I think is going to be beautiful.
Thanks,
I'm gonna make it short and sweet. I'm gonna coin a term. I don't know if anybody has used it yet, but influence to earn, I think, is something that's gonna be something quite interesting too.
Yeah, we're gonna make it happen, Saeed. That's like, we're gonna coin that term. Metafluence is influence to earn. We're gonna start that right here. It is the future. This is Web 3.0 is the future. Influencers are the future. All of this, influence to earn. Couldn't love it more. You're special because you're special, and this is one of the many reasons why.
Thank you guys. Thank you. And just to kind of, there are a lot of people like again asking like, okay, who are these influencers? Is it again like the accounts with millions of followers? No, I mean, Emin actually did mention that we, like in our eyes, we do see everyone who has a social media account as an influencer, because you may have 100 friends, you may have million friends, but you still have the ability to influence your audience. Either it's like 100 people or 1,000 people or 1,000,000, right? So in that perspective, again, like in the decentralized web, and in the decentralized web, everyone is going to be an influencer in a sense, because once you have certain audience, you have the ability to influence them. And you look at these, you look at the younger generation, essentially like Generation Z, right? So you see them interacting with social media accounts much more often than we do, and they usually have bigger audiences than we do. You see, a lot of kind of young kids having millions of audiences, right? So imagine like what they are going to do, 5 years from now on, or even like 2-3 years from now on, because they will have these massive audiences. And if you think that, okay, it's metaverse ruled by these youngster influencers, and then again from 5 years, 10 years from now, those kids gonna basically grow up, and then all these audiences that are growing with them, they are so accustomed to this new reality, being like sort of everyone is an influencer, right, in this new world. So this is the entire concept is in that regard really fascinating. So really good comments. Thanks a lot, JT, Saeed, and Fuad. So I'd like to move to the next question. So I have here Ahmed Chandler Bing. So I'm just trying to improvise and read the names correctly, but it does say Chandler Bing on Twitter. Okay, so the question is, can you tell me if your project will be integrated with Web 3.0 in the future? And what do you aim to achieve with Metaverse? Can you briefly talk about the project? So I believe all these questions have been already answered, because again, Web 3.0 is the main concept about what Web 3.0 is, to have it decentralized, interoperable ecosystem, where you can call it a network, the next level of internet that we already talked about. And then obviously we are a Web 3.0 project, so we are directly related to it. And then what do you aim to achieve with Metaverse? Again, as mentioned, this is again this is again about our vision, how we're going to implement it in regards to the influencer marketing, creating, personalized spaces for the influencers, allowing and opening better monetization options for them in the metaverse. So, and then obviously we already talked about the project. And then the other question is, so we have like two questions. They are very similar. So we have, what do you mean with metaverse? Again, it's something that we already answered. And that question is by Ankido Jabbar. And are there things you plan to do in the future? Yes, we do plan. We plan to do a lot of things. And then a follow-up question, like a sort of similar question by Akatsuki is, what do you think about the concept of metaverse and how will the future of the metaverse be shaped? I think again, we already talked about it, but maybe we can add some comments. JT, would you like to maybe take the floor and kind of spice things up,
Yeah, I could talk AdNauseum about this. There's a lot of things happening. We have to consider, like, if we really want to look at it from a macro perspective, you have to look at like even human population and unemployment, right? Like there's a certain amount of jobs that are catered to humans. And now then go a step further and think like AI and machine automation. So machine automation, like pretty soon you'll go to a McDonald's or a Starbucks or whatever you go to, you won't talk to a person, you'll just talk to a screen. All these screens are replacing jobs. So there's not enough jobs today, let alone tomorrow when the population's bigger than it is today. And as these screens come into the equation, the situation gets worse and worse and worse and worse unless there's an evolution, unless there's a solution. This is where I think Metaverse comes into play. Metaverse creates the opportunity for play to earn, for economies to exist in digital worlds that are infinitely expandable, that will facilitate the growth of human population. It's as simple as that. Like when you look at financial markets historically, look at the secondary markets. If you haven't watched, what's the movie with The Big Short? The Big Short. Watch The Big Short. It talks about the real estate market in the United States and what happens with the investments in that market. Is the bankers created these secondary markets that allow you to make bets on investments, essentially to expand the opportunity. So what we want to think about here is not the details of the bets that were made, but why was a secondary market required? Why did they have to get so creative to create these secondary instruments? The reason is to facilitate the masses. And as we evolve, the same need will exist. We're going to have to facilitate the masses. And as we facilitate the masses, we're going to have to provide jobs. And there's going to be a lot of things outside of jobs, but let's just focus on that we're going to have to provide in order to just sustain life as we know it today. If there's not enough real life jobs in the normal universe, then evolution has created the opportunity for metaverses, which is an infinite amount of alternate realities that exist digitally. They create opportunities for people to work, people to live, people to earn, people to provide value, to provide services. Marketing is going to be at the core, and influencer marketing, I believe, is the future of all marketing. That's how this all kind of ties together. But the metaverse is important because of human population growth, automation of fulfillment of the needs, which decreases the reliance on people. We start to use robots to fulfill this thing. Then we have to create alternate ecosystems. That combined with just sheer opportunity is capitalism has driven the world. People find ways to make money, to architect things that attract other people And the metaverse is one of those things. If I buy a pair of shoes in the real world, I'm going to wear them and I'm going to show them off, or let's use glasses since everyone can see my glasses. If I buy some hip new glasses that everybody can see, everybody that I interact with physically can see my glasses. How many people am I going to interact with physically? And especially COVID, this is the perfect time to talk about metaverse, because COVID is making us not interact with people. We're all stay isolated at home. So if I buy new glasses, and I've worked really hard at my job to save money to buy something really exciting, then I can't hang out with anybody. What do? I go online to hang out. Where are we hanging out when we're all chilling at home? We're all hanging out online. We're all hanging out on Facebook and all these social media profiles, whatever it may be, and we're showing off how we can digitally. The future of that is that if I buy glasses, I might see 50 people in real life and show them my new glasses. But my avatar, if I can picture a metaverse and my representation in the digital world that could reach endlessly, I can show off my glasses to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So the question then becomes, what do people value? Do they value the glasses, or do they value the recognition that comes with the glasses? I believe they value the recognition that comes from buying some cool glasses. So then where am I going to get the most recognition? Am I going to get more recognition in a physical world or a digital world? My reach is so much further in a digital world. I believe my glasses are going to be more flashy in a digital world, and I'm going to be able to show them off to more people in a digital world than I ever can in a physical world. And that's why metaverse is important.
Yeah, absolutely. Great thoughts, JT. You did really spice things up, right? Yeah, I mean, this is basically the reason why the NFTs are so popular right now. You know, all these CryptoPunks or fake NFTs, because everyone is trying to kind of flex on them, right? Putting them on their profiles, and getting some respect for that, right? So everyone is like, okay, that guy has a CryptoPunk, right? So yeah, those are great points. Thanks a lot for that. All right, so our next question is, let me see. So we have Casablanca. So this is, by the way, is going to be 6th question out of the 10. And the question is, what kind of partnerships with different projects, platforms, protocols can we expect from Metafluence in the future? Could you give us some examples of how other projects can leverage Metafluence? So this is a great question. So basically, I did mention that we already partner with some of our valuable partners, such as again SoulChecks or Arise or DigiCorp Labs. All these projects are more metaverse oriented projects. I mean, we do have other partners such as Decubate as well, really good at blockchain technology. So to answer the question, it's going to be more about the tech-related partnerships. So we can't name, specific partners that we would like to work with right now, because it may sound something like a statement that we don't want to make in advance. But kind of in short, to answer the question, it's going to be more about like tech-related, metaverse-related partnerships and projects that we can leverage in terms of their tech. And also more partnerships with the influencers, more partnerships with platforms or protocols that are again more oriented on the blockchain solutions or interoperability. So that is how we envision it. So moving to the next question, we have the 7th question, which is by Beyza Yilmaz. And the question is, what is the biggest goal of your project? Can you explain why people should invest in your project? Not sure about the investment part, but yeah, what is the biggest goal of your project? Amin, would you like to answer that question?
Yeah, very interesting question. I like that. So biggest vision of Metafluence team was that from the start was that there were three ages of people's adoption of media. So there were mass media period, there were media period, and what we believe is the next is the metaverse media, we can call period. So if you analyze who brought people from mass media, that was early adopters influence, people who first tried, first shared, and first experienced new relationship with the people. So it was so the relations, human to human relations, went out a monologue format. And the abilities that the metaverse is opening, we believe that it will be influencers who will transfer people, ordinary people, social media to the metaverse. And we want to be the pioneers of this process. We want, while creating monetization models for those people, we will motivate influencers to bring their most loyal audiences to the new era, new format of human-to-human relations, and earn profit on this. And while they earn profit on this, they become more motivated and bring more people. So, and we are opening this incentivization models not only for the influencers, but at the same time for their followers and for the brands. As I mentioned earlier, this is a ground zero level, we can call this, and there's a new opportunities for anyone who missed the train of the social media of being an influencer or being a super big brand. They can use this chance in the metaverse with the through the Metafluence. So any talent as an influencer can use this chance. Any small brand who wants to explore new opportunities can use that. And any curious people who want to interact with the top influencers and the brands can also use the opportunity of this trend. So our mission is, long story short, our mission is to transform people to the new era with the help of the influencers, innovators. Yeah, this was the first part of the question, and why you should invest. I think we already talked a lot about that. I can say that number one reason is our team. We are working together already more than 5 years, so we know how to work together. We know how to disrupt the things together. We were first movers of the influencer marketing industry in many countries. So when we started the influencer marketing, when many people didn't know the terminology of the influencer, we were always explaining the brands that you can promote your product through the people, like people-to-people promotion. And it was a new concept in the region, in the Central Eurasian region, which we call the Middle East, ex-Soviet countries, and Turkey, and later many other countries. So our team, as JT mentioned, is deeply involved in the influencer marketing. We practiced a lot, and we developed a system. Our recent focus was developing a performance-based influencer marketing model. So that innovation, which was enabling brands to create collaboration model with the influencers on the base of the performance of sales, traffic, or whatever, like performance is conversion. So we once we started exploring this area, we saw that we are actually unlocking the industry, because in this new model, influencers are the main drivers. So if they select with which brands they work, which type of the content they create, and we are moving the influencer marketing from monopoly of the brands, the dictation of the brands, what content should be created, to the freedom of the influencers. So while creating their regular content, they can make smart brand collaborations and earn even more money, more profit. So once we started this exploring this new era, we met with JT, and he opened the new horizons for us in the metaverse. He said that this idea can work much better and quicker in the metaverse with attaching there many other elements like NFTs and digital products, digital collectibles, and many other stuff. So yeah, so it's not like a project that came to our mind like 3 months ago and we started doing this. We came to this by evolution, by trying and failing and learning, trying and learning, testing different models of brand and influencer collaboration. And it was the most hard part for us to automate the influencer marketing, because these are the influencers are not robots, they are people, and very talented people, and very demanded people. So how we can make this collaboration automated, so scalable, so measurable and trackable. So this we are making R&D in this area like several years, more than 5 years. So I think we are the right team to invest. So you don't invest, you first invest in team, then the project, then the other stuff. Yeah.
Team
And also,
is far.
yeah.
And so there's a big gap that has to be filled. If you believe in Web 3.0, you believe in this peer-to-peer economy, the question isn't if, it's just who.
Mm-hmm.
I'm betting on this team. Period.
Thank you,
I'm
JT.
betting on Alvin. I'm betting on Fuad. I'm betting on this team to make it happen.
Thank you. And by the way, this is not a financial advice, so just wanted to highlight that part as well. So always do your own research. I mean, we can only highlight, highlight the value proposition, and highlight our strong aspects, right? Why we are the right team and everything, as mentioned by Emmy and JT. Thank you guys, and Saeed. But we can, we can never tell you it as in a form of financial advice. So always do your own research. And again,
just our personal opinion, I believe in these guys and girls and this incredible team. Somebody's going to do it. For me, the question is just who, not if. And when I look at this team, this is the team that's going to do it. In my mind, that's my opinion. Don't take it as financial advice, as Alvin said. But if I'm gonna bet, then I wanna be with Evan and Alvin and Fuad and team. That's who's gonna make it happen, in my opinion.
Thank you, JT. Really appreciate your trust and confidence in us, and we will do the best. We'll do the best to make it happen. All right, so we are actually getting close to the end of the AMA. So we have the 8th question by RF20eth, and the question is, what does the concept of metaverse mean in your project, and what kind of work do you do in order to adapt the concept of commodity to your project? So I think the first half of the question was already answered, as we envisioned the metaverse being the combination of these smaller metaverse worlds. And obviously the big vision for everyone, I think for everyone, is to see the metaverse as the next level of internet, where all these smaller metaverses such as ours or the other projects to be connected in a decentralized and interoperable way with each other. So this is the first part of the question. And then what kind of work do you do in order to adapt the concept of commodity to your project? So I didn't fully understand the question. Maybe that there is a need for elaboration, but I think
is like, Alvin. So this is like the discussions we've had around like resources, right? So like build a hub to create a structure. What are the resources that exist in this alternate universe. I think this is what it's directed at. We're thinking about this. The holders and investors of the Meta token today will benefit from all the evolution. So there's so many ways and directions this can evolve. We're going to figure this out. There's going to be resources in this new meta world that we create, and we're going to build it and structure it in a way that incentivizes everybody to participate. I think maybe that answers the
I do believe that's the question. I'm not sure. Maybe it's related. If it's related to the physical goods, I can also answer that question. So we do have affiliate system in place, which we've actually done with KeepPhase. So basically, there is going to be some connection to the physical world as well. If you are an influencer working with a certain brand, you can basically promote certain brand products and sell them. And if users basically click through your link and purchase that product on the brand's website, you get the commission. So you get the affiliate commission on top of that. But in terms of having a lot of economy aspects to it, such as MetaHuts, different sort of rooms, lands, different sorts of NFTs that we will be creating, or avatars, variable NFTs for these avatars, and etc. That is something, again, the whole new economy that will be built in the coming months and years. And Said, did you want to add anything? Just
Yeah, I think I think what they probably were meaning by the commodity on Metafluence is most likely related to kind of the utility of the platform and what can participants on the platform and Metafluence expect to get in the long term. And I think that's primarily what that would be referring to. But I think what would be very, very nice to see is the kind of VR equipment that people can utilize to actually interact with the metaverse. I'd like to see, Metafluence as a project partner with VR equipment producers and manufacturers and be able to kind of
hardware. This is like a hardware collaboration.
Yeah,
I agree with you completely, Saeed. Is some of the core relationships we'll be looking at out the gates is like cooperation with the hardware providers. So Oculus Rift, Samsung, all of these have their individual economies of how Facebook, Meta, all these individual economies will exist. The key at everything is the interoperability. Like, we need to build Metafluence in a way that it's plug and play for any ecosystem, anywhere, on any platform, regardless. That's how we'll build.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of the VR, that's something that we have on the roadmap, and we'll obviously we'll do anything that is needed, including the collaborations. That is, again, something that we already discussed internally with the team, and we do have a team that is actually very familiar with the VR technology. But this is not gonna be happening probably this year, probably early next year. So it's, just to kind of give heads up. All right, so we are already finished 8 questions, so we have 9th question, and that question comes from Lomo, and the question is, when you first entered the industry, is there anyone you targeted to make a sensational impact, or would you rather have them come to you? Finally, how fast do you expect your project to spread and reach a larger number of people? I think it's a question that would be probably best answered by Emin.
Yeah, I want to say just real fast before anybody goes anywhere. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. So this is not like you're going to be rich tomorrow. Everybody that's in it to say like, okay, like I'm going to invest today and I'm going to sell tomorrow, one and done kind of thing, it's not for you. Leave. leave the chat room, leave the group, leave the investors, leave. Make your money, do what you do. This is a real project, building a real infrastructure for real projects for the future of the internet. If you believe in all of that, jump on board and hold long term, because this is the team that will create the infrastructure to bring influencers to Web 3.0. I'm convinced. And that's what this boils down to. The Meta token, from an outsider's perspective and a participation perspective, all boils down to utility. So, do people want this product to exist? Should influencers be allowed to engage people directly in Web 3.0? If you believe they should, buy Meta token. I think win, 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 win. They can't say it, so I'll say it for them. I think it's a super win. My time is my most valuable asset. I give my time to this project because I believe in it. I believe in Emin. I believe in Fuad. I believe in Elvin. I believe in the team. And I believe in the evolution of the internet going to 3.0. I think influencers are a big part of it. And this is the team that makes it happen.
Great. Thank you, JT. Really appreciate your thoughts and comments. Emin, you want to add?
Yeah, I would like to add that I will not specify specific names, but like overall our strategy of again onboarding the influencers. So our main criteria is how influencer is influencers literacy about the Web 3.0 and Metaverse, its interest and passion of these new trends. So if for us, micro influencer who is passionate about Metaverse is more important than a celebrity who have millions of audience but don't care much and will jump in only after everyone connects. So we are in the first stage. We are targeting the people, the influencers who want to explore, who want to create their own personalized virtual world. We call it virtual residence. Actually, it is a mini metaverse of an influencer. So we are opening yeah, exactly, JT. So why we will bring those people who are interested, they will explore and share, and more people will come. And once the industry grows in parallel as a whole, we will use this opportunity of this trend, onboarding more people. And we are expecting that many influencers will approach themselves as well. But in parallel, we have a big database of influencers that we are being collaborating with, and we have connections. We will continuously make onboarding marketing campaigns, education campaigns, and the campaigns that will make them make their first steps through our platform.
Thank you, Amin. Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Saeed just mentioned that he has to go because he has a dinner. So thank you, Saeed. Really
Thanks for having me,
appreciate it.
guys.
Thank you, Saeed.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the rest of the day,
Have a
man.
nice dinner.
Thank you.
Best of luck. Good to see you, JT, in full flow. Very interesting
Thank you, brother.
conversation.
I love to work on any project with you. Saeed's a legend.
Sure.
Legend. What he touches turns to gold. The myths are true. Follow the gold. Saeed's the king. Love to be working with you on this project, brother.
Much
Thank you.
appreciated.
Thank you,
Have a great
Saeed.
one, guys. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, so we have actually the last question, the 10th question, coming from Leakers WR. And the question is, what do you plan to do in the first and next stages in the Metaverse universe? What kind of audience will be waiting for you in the first stage? So basically, again, what we're trying to do is to onboard the influencers first, and that's the main goal. Because again, once we onboard the influencers, we are absolutely sure that the audiences and the brands will follow the influencers. And in the first stages, we want to get the MetaHuts up and running. So we do have the MVP planned as well. And once we have the MetaHuts and once we have the basic functionality for the influencers to actually come visit their MetaHuts and engage with the audiences, so that is the first, I would say, batch of the audiences that we'll be having. And then obviously on the later stages, this is all about the product development and improvements and onboarding more and more influencers, more brands, more collaborations, more audiences. And then I believe there are some people who are also asking, like, what is in it? What is the benefit for the audiences? To answer that question, for the audiences, we actually offer more engagement with the influencers. So, like anyone anyone who has a social media has certain pages that they follow or like, or YouTube channels that they like to watch the content. So this is something that everyone can benefit from. So if your favorite influencer, if someone that you're following is with you in the MetaHut, and you can actually ask direct questions or participate in the live event with that influencer, and also in the meantime earn some benefits and rewards through, let's say, staking, or through through other benefits that we provide. So these are again the benefits that we provide to the audiences. And again, there are a lot of details that I'd like to, if I go into the details, I don't want to kind of extend the AMA because it's been quite long one. But yeah, again, to answer the question in short, what we envision is to have more influencers joining our ecosystem and eventually bringing more audiences and brands to thrive in our ecosystem. All right, I think that's it. If anyone here wants to add, I think also Fuad had to leave, by the way, because he has a flight. So I believe, I think this is it in terms of the question. I think we can wrap everything up right now. If you'd like to add anything, Emin or JT, please do so. Otherwise, we'll just wrap. All right. Yeah, more and more love and hearts. Thank you. And just a reminder to everyone, so these 10 questions will be rewarded by 10K Meta each. And just a reminder to everyone, we have our IDO coming on January 24th on BSC Pad, MetaV Pad, and NFT launch. So thank you everyone for joining and for your time. Take care.
Take
and
care.
yeah,
Thank you, JT. See you. Bye bye. Have a good evening. Bye.
thank you. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.